Cops and Crooks, the GTA Online DLC that could have been the most transformative addition in the game's history. Players have been clamouring for the ability to take up a badge and stem the lawlessness that plagues Los Santos, and those prayers were seemingly answered. Until the DLC just vanished. So what happened? As the name implies, Cops and Crooks focuses on two primary groups, those who safeguard the law and those who see themselves above it. Players would have the long-awaited option to join the fuzz and help prevent all the many crimes going on in the world. The DLC would introduce 14 new vehicles, as well as vehicle abilities, highlighting a focus on high-speed, high-stake police chases. Along with them are a bunch of new weapons. Spike mines, kinetic rams, flash, stun and tear grenades, that sort of stuff, you know? All to help the player cops apprehend ne'er-do-wells with the non-lethal force. On top of all that, there's something that GTA Online players have been clamouring for each and every update: a new progression system. Engaging in activities would allow you to develop your reputation as a lawman or lawless renegade. Success in your exploits would award tokens redeemable in a special DLC shop. The police would be divided into several different categories, from beat cops to sheriffs to highway controllers. Likewise for the criminals who might fancy themselves as a simple foot soldier, an enforcer, or a hacker. Now these have all the makings of a DLC the community sorely yearns for. Players can band together, divide and conquer the game world, and play on the streets of Los Santos in a whole new light. When details of the update first emerged, players were undeniably enthusiastic. And I bet you can't wait to get your hands on this, huh? So when can we expect to see this game-changing addition to GTA Online? Well, here's the part where, after building up all your hopes and expectations, I dashed them all over the pavement. You won't get to play this. Probably not ever. The Cops and Crooks DLC isn't just a fantasy. I haven't made up all those juicy features. I've just rattled off. No, they exist. We know this from curious data miners who found all those details in the game's source files. They're all in there, and possibly not too far from being released. But the penned reveal was in 2020. As you're probably aware, that was quite a while ago. So what happened? Well, over the last few years, Rockstar has changed. Once the inciter of all controversy, they've become a lot more socially and culturally aware these past few years. The planned DLC would have landed slap bang in the middle of a very volatile conversation about police brutality amidst nationwide protests in America. And that's not the best social climate to release a new addition to the game which features quite a lot of police brutality. So Rockstar swept the DLC under the rug. We know it exists, but in their efforts to be less of a powder keg, they opted to turn their focus on other content that wouldn't make them a target in a crosshair. Now there's probably some argument about Rockstar bowing to pressure and what have you, but these changes to the company have made it better to some degree. Once upon a time, the company lived up to its namesake and was an explosive studio. But that kind of lifestyle doesn't last forever. Now, once upon a time, for its brutal crunch culture and reckless attitude, the studio has matured. Overtime is treated with respect, pay gaps are more normalised, and the rambunctious company culture has settled down. Like a rowdy teen becoming a responsible, if not slightly kooky, young adult. The growth of the company is most likely why the Cops and Crooks DLC won't ever see the light of day. But put away your disappointment for a sec, because there's a silver lining. See, GTA Online has grown and evolved further than Rockstar could have ever initially expected it to. Yes, they've been fostering that with consistent updates, but it's also growing on its own. The developer can devise and implement game-altering systems like those on show in Cops and Crooks, but leave the community to their own devices and they'll discover on their own what they really want. And they'll find a way to create it. Go to any RP server and you'll find scores of players being whatever they want to be. You'll find cops, you'll find robbers, you'll find street racers and jaywalkers and innocent pedestrians just kicking around. Rockstar might not have given players a concrete way to become officers, but that won't stop users doing it on their own means. And with players at the helm, they can fine-tune the experience just how they want it. But that's not to say that the notion will never be considered by the developer again. Remember, there's a pretty big project in development by the name of GTA 6. I'd be shocked if Rockstar weren't sitting on the sidelines of a GTA Online and gathering as much data as they can, seeing what players like, what they don't like, which activities are fun, which are laborious, and logging what their players deem as the perfect online experience. No doubt with that, they'll be looking at the kind of characters players want to be. It's not all gun-toting maniacs. There's as much variety and ambiguity as there are real people. The online aspect will help Rockstar determine what it is their community really love doing and take that information to their next game and possible follow-up to GTA Online. So Cops and Crooks will likely never happen for GTA Online as we know it, but we don't know what Rockstar has up their sleeve. The service has been ticking away for almost a decade, and we're expecting a new game to mean a new reimagining. Playing as cops, acting as crooks, deploying vehicle stingers, kinetic rams, faction systems, all exciting features that may have a second chance in the next step of GTA Online.